Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to you, man. Appreciate that, Grant.
No problem. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So Grant, with this being Rod's last game, just you guys as safeties, what are your emotions? Like, what has it been like having him in the room the last couple of years here?
Yeah, I mean, smart guy to say the least. Seasoned vet, as we all know, St. Louis Rams back in the day, man, and you know, just all the things and the tools that he's given us. All the tools that he's given us. You know, I'll take that on forever with my career. So, shout out to Rod, man. We hope to send him out on a high note.
Can you just address it in your hometown, obviously?
Yeah.
Something horrible last night, and I know you've been through a lot there. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm not too sure on the details, but of course, praying for those people. I know Bourbon Street's a popular tourist area, so you know, people probably that wasn't from there, and unfortunately, you know, some lost their lives. So definitely want to send a prayer to their families and know that we're thinking about them.
What can you take from that first Baltimore game that you guys won, obviously, to really pull the upset of the year on Saturday?
We're gonna take the good and the bad. We're gonna watch the film, see what we got to do better, and know that this team is fighting for a division title. So they're gonna give it all. They'll have new stuff in. They're gonna they're not gonna take this one lightly. So we don't either.
Is that something you guys can use as motivation besides the point spread that they're predicting? The fact that you have an opportunity to keep them from winning the division?
Yeah. It ain't really about just them, you know what I'm saying? This is about us and starting 2025 off on a good note. Can we build foundation with the bricks that's been thrown at us? It's been a bad overall year as far as win percentage and stuff like that, but you got to finish on a high note.
You guys have played Lamar so much. Do you ever get used to playing him?
No, I mean, he's a great player, man. We know what he's going to bring. You don't know what he's going to actually do on every play, like all the great players, but all you can do is prepare for him and use what you already know.
Is it more frustrating or fun to play against him?
Both. Really, both,
So you guys, might be down Denzel this game, or without Greg. Just what's it like to go into a game against this offense with guys like that?
I don't really worry about that too much because we've been banged up here and there. Guys have stepped up. Guys are doing what they got to do. So I got full confidence in the guys.
Does the last game of the season give you a little anticipation to put some good stuff on tape just as that season finale?
Yeah, I mean, you need to, honestly. So it's going to be a long time until we strap it up again and until we step out on that field. So might as well give it all you got and end with a win, huh? Yeah. Appreciate y'all.
I like that. I like that hoodie, man.
Let's go.
That's a great hoodie for the day.
I got mine here.
Okay, you got to put it over the jacket.
Yeah, I
though.
know, but as soon as I leave here.
So give us a prediction on that score.
Honestly, it's gonna be a close one. I think it's gonna be a close one. I got my Buckeyes 34-28. 34-28.
Denzel, what happened with your shoulder on Sunday? We didn't even know. I don't think when you got hurt exactly.
Yeah, I think it was a little friendly fire. Me and Jordan collided. I really haven't even watched the playback, but yeah, he got a hard head, so he just caught my shoulder, and I caught his head. So he got the worst part of it, though. I think he ended up getting a concussion from it, though. So hope he's feeling all right, though. Hey, I'm pushing for it. That's the plan, Lord willing. But we'll see what comes come game day.
Why does it matter so much to you to fight to get out there?
Man, I just love playing against football. I love playing with my teammates and my coaches. We usually never go have the same team, and just take a lot of pride in just the work that we put in. I know we didn't accomplish all the goals that we wanted to accomplish and everything, but It's still been fun playing with these guys, and like I said, just enjoy playing the game, and another opportunity to play the game that we dreamed of as a kid would be great.
Denzel, is it more fun or frustrating to play against Lamar Jackson?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's definitely fun, but he's a great player, so it could get frustrating at times. Just him being able to scramble around there and then you covering guys. I know the last time we played him, I was covering Flowers for I felt a whole quarter. He was just running around, and then he was just quarterbacks back there just scrambling around and able to throw it deep. But yeah, it's tough, but it's fun though. Just going against that high level competition. He's been having a great year, but it's good.
Denzel, Rodney McLeod, last NFL game coming up this weekend. What's he meant to you guys in this locker room?
Man, he's meant a lot. He's the OG. He's a big vet, and he's been leading us, man. And just want to send him out the right way as best as we can. But he's been leading us all season long, and I'm glad to been a part of this team with him. And he's been a great leader.
Denzel, there's been a lot said about just the season you've had and how it's arguably been the best season of your career. I don't know how much self-reflection you've had a chance to do. Obviously, you got a game to go, but do you kind of feel like that's true? And what is, I guess, going into this last game, season you go what's the way you want to cap that the season that you've had?
Yeah. I feel I had a great personal season, but I'm a team guy. I just want to give my best to help the team win and put us in the best chance possible to win games. So I'm just going to keep trying to work hard and do that as best as I can and just go from there.
Denzel, I know you talked about it today, but in the run game with Derrick Henry, in the secondary, how do you guys work to limit him to his success?
Yeah, it's tough. We just got to gang tackle him and try to beat him to the spot and not let him get going.
How nice would it be for Miles to get his first sack title this year? Do you feel like maybe you can play a role in helping that happen on Sunday?
Yeah, that'd be amazing for him to get the sack title. I know he's going to be pushing for it, and we're going to try to do the best as we can to help him get that. That's going to be a huge honor for him, and I'm sure he's going to get it. Good. Thank you, guys.
Good guy of the year, man.
I know.
This is especially good today.
I know. I was going to come up here, and then I found out I won, so I decided to come up here. But in all seriousness, I appreciate you guys. We've all been here for a while together, but I appreciate the recognition, and I know you guys have a tough job to do, and hopefully I'm here to help a little bit. Also, shout out to Dan, my campaign manager, pushing for it. But no, I appreciate it, and thanks a lot.
It's the price of fame.
I know.
What are the feelings, the emotions this week going into this game? I know you don't know what the future holds for you, but at the same time, that it's even a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
Does it change the feelings this week?
Truthfully, I've been very frustrated the last few weeks. Like, I just didn't expect us to be in this position. You come out here and you're playing for pride. You're playing for your own resume, your own, worth. And as a team, like, it's tough to be in this situation. We've had so many guys get banged up the last few weeks, and it almost feels like a new team out there in some senses. But so I haven't had time to look at the macro, purpose of everything. I've been really, focused on the week to week. But to me, it's just been very frustrating the way this season has turned out.
Joe, do you think that will affect your decision in any way? The fact that this season has been so bad.
I wish, whenever it is. You think of John Elway going out and winning a Super Bowl, or even Andrew Whitworth, they got to play in their last game, win a Super Bowl, and ride off in the sunset. That'd be the ultimate dream, and I bet, if it would have been 2 years ago we won a Super Bowl, I probably would have been all right, I'm good to go, and so it's the thing that you fight for. So it's all part of it. It's all part of the process, the season, your teammates, winning, losing, how you feel, all of that goes into every decision you make. But we'll see.
How do you feel about the fact that you were frustrated, the fact that you've been frustrated? Does that kind of add to the, hey, I want to wait and make a decision and make sure I'm sure so it's not regrets?
Yeah, it's hard. You never want to make a decision in the moment. There's some games where you wake up Monday morning and I'm like, crap, why am I doing this? You lost, you feel terrible, your body hurts. you know, and then there's other times where it's like you play a game and you're like, you can still play at a high level, you know, and I want to see what our team can do in the future. So yeah, that's why you want to take a chance, take a breath, see where you're at, you know, talk to people, and really get an understanding of you know, what the future looks like.
How do you feel having seen so much with this franchise in your 11 years, the good and the bad? Will you share your thoughts with the organization privately about just what you feel that the state of the team is, maybe what's missing, what's needed for it to get where everyone would like it to be?
Yeah, I'm sure on Sunday or Monday, whenever we decide to do them, we'll have the exit interviews, and I'll have my meeting with Coach Stefanski, with Andrew Barry, with Jimmy and JW and Dee if she wants to be there. So I'll have my chance to let them know what I think is going on, and you know, they actually listen very well. They ask guys, they want to know, you know, the thought process and stuff like that. So it'll be you know, kind of the normal exit interview.
How do you feel health-wise compared to a year ago?
There's some, you know, I feel beat up. I feel like at this point in the season I get like numb to what I feel like in the early years, early weeks of the season, like it's like new bumps and bruises, and by this point it's like everything kind of just is numb. Last year I had the back towards the end and an oblique, and I was like real messed up. But we had that week off before the playoffs, so I kind of got back. I don't have as extreme things going on, but you know, the knees and ankles and shoulders and the elbows, all the joints of the body are a little bit banged up. But I'm playing. I'm doing fine. You know, I've you know, made it through.
You had a finger and something else last year?
Yeah, and a finger. Yeah, it all just.
You were in a walking boot at that.
Well, yeah. After that Texans playoff game, I was messed. I had a pretty bad high ankle sprain, tore my UCL, my elbow, all in that game, and I just like I tried to finish the game, but that was like an 8 weeks of like off season where I was like, oh my god, like I shouldn't have played on my ankle, but you know, it was the last game, so we were trying to go out there.
Despite all the bumps and bruises and the aches and pains, you've been grading out and playing really, really well. Despite your frustration over these last how many other weeks. So how much does that factor in that you're still playing at a very, very high level?
Yeah, it's for sure part of it, because you know, you go out there and you play a game, and you know, you're like, hey, I played pretty well, or you know, the coaches think I played well. So if you can do it at a high level, you want to keep doing it. It's just like the trade-off with how does your body feel? What are you doing it for at this point? Like, you know, there's so much that goes into it. It's just it's all one big question mark, you know. So all of that plays into it.
How close do you think you guys are to being as good as you were last year?
Well, I think, you know, obviously we had injuries this year, but I think the rosters are similar. You know, I know they're going to have to rebuild some aspects of the roster, but I don't think it's far. I think Coach Stefanski's a good coach. You know, I think we're going to have a good system in place. It comes down to executing. It comes down to doing your 111s, but I don't think we're, you know, that far off from being a contender again.
Hey, Joe, maybe you already know, but how much would another Pro Bowl at this stage of your career mean to you?
It's always important, you know. I know it's one of the ways O-linemen can get recognized, you know. Like you know, it's such a tough position, because even if you're a receiver or a quarterback and you play on a 3-13 team, you can put up, you know, 1,000 yards and you can catch 85 passes. And as an O-lineman, when the run game's not working and the quarterback's getting sacked, you know, it's usually the O-line's fault. And so it's part of it, you know what I mean? I know it's part of it, but I know where we're at as a team too. So we'll see, you know, we'll see how that goes. But it would mean a lot if I could, you know, get number 7.
When you talk about being frustrated, is this more frustrating than maybe some other tough years you've had?
Yeah, to me, I think the expectations this year and then where we ended up have made it the most frustrating. You know, early in my career, I didn't really know any better, you know, my first couple years, and then when we were in the real rebuild, like we were such a young team that it wasn't even like there wasn't expectations to, you know, make the playoffs or do anything like that. We thought we could. We were so young, you know, you don't know any better. But I think with what the expectations were this year, it's probably been the most frustrating, you know, results-wise.
We've talked about Miles a ton, but we voted him the Player of the Year, Joe. in the gym, and everybody talks about how much attention he receives. Is there anybody you guys play that you block like other teams block Miles?
I don't think so. I think in our defense is a 4-down front, which allows a little bit more flexibility. I mean, they'll run some jam fronts, they'll run some 5-man fronts, but like TJ Watt, we put a lot of attention on him this year with chips. But when they have another rusher that's rushing outside, almost on Jack, it's hard to really slide his way. So you can chip him. Where Miles, you saw last week, he split a slide, he gets chipped. There's a lot of attention. Like Micah Parsons, we had a pretty big plan for, but again, he kind of lines up everywhere, and they kind of force you to block him one-on-one at sometimes. Where I think Miles at all times, and if you watch, like, I think the screens, how quick guys get rid of the ball. Like Joe Burrow always throws the ball quick, but I think when we play different teams, it's like we were playing the Raiders, and I think Miles was getting there every time, and the ball was just out of the hands. So like I think the way people scheme, he's definitely one of a kind.
Joel, you talked about Kevin being a good coach, and I think one of the most notable things that he's gotten here has just been, we've sort of seen it, you guys talked about culture. Obviously, 3-13 at this point, like worst season, first season since he's been here, but how much has that culture still sort of felt prominent within the team, within the locker room? Like, is that something that's not wavered, even though this season hasn't gone away?
Yeah, it's very hard when you're losing a lot of games, but I think the standard of what he's created is still there, and losing's unacceptable, and he's talked about that. Like, we can't get into this being the everyday norm. This is not what we want it to be. But when you're preaching something and you go 3-13, like, it's obviously going to be hard to keep that going. But I think the locker room has faith in Coach Stefanski. Like, I don't think anybody's like, oh man, like, if we would have done this a little different with Coach. Like, we understand his message, and I think more than anything, we want to live up to it for him. So I think the culture is still there.
Joel, if when you sit down with Kevin and the Haslams and they say, look, we're going to try to get to winning next year, we're going to have better quarterback play, we really need you to be a part of this, we really want you here. Will that help sway your decision?
That'll be part of it. It's all part of it, and whenever the decision's made, I'm sure Dan and his crew will let you guys know what's going on. Or we show up to minicamp and I'm showed up there too. But no, it's all part of it. Like you want to hear the plans, you want to hear what's going on, you want to know how you feel. So it's all just part of the big question.
Rodney McLeod's retiring. How much would you miss? He talked about missing the locker room. How would that be like for you?
Yeah, it's one of the best parts of the game is just the guys you're around, the work you put in, the blood, sweat, and tears that you go through with these guys to try and find ways to win. But the football locker room is such a cool place. There's so many different cultures. You come from different backgrounds, and you all are on one team to try and achieve one goal. So it's a special place, and that's definitely the thing that you like. Oh, where do you get that? The rest of your life, really. Sweet, thanks.
Happy New Year, Jay.